Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22. I know that we do have one piece of cheese over next to the church. It's on a bench over there. I'm very curious, we've got a restaurant here. It seems like this would be the perfect place to put another piece of cheese, if you were building a map. It seems like a restaurant with outdoor dining like this. But apparently they didn't think this was a good place to put a piece of cheese. Apparently this was a little bit too obvious. So they have not secreted said piece of cheese. Disappointing. Very disappointing. So we know that we've got two. We've got two. There was one that I found in a bit of recording that you never actually seen. That was deleted and consigned to the dustbin on the recording room floor. And the other one, it's still sitting on the bench in front of the church. Still maturing right now. We need to make sure it's properly matured before we go and pick it up, because otherwise it's just not going to be worth the 10 grand. I did tell you where the other one was, didn't I? Yeah, it was up on the resort up there, out on the balcony. It was a fairly easy one to find. So there's 10 more hidden in various locations around the map. Now I suspect that one of them is in those flats down there. I mean, they may not be, but it sort of seems like a place to put them, on one of the upper stories of the blocks of flats. Whether or not we can get up there easily is another matter entirely, and I don't know if we'd even be able to see it. One way that we would be able to take a look and see if we can find it would be to use the landscaping mode. So I just want to... We've got to do something about this entranceway right here. It's a bit rough. There's something that I just wanted to take a look at very quickly. I want to go to construction and I want to go to landscaping like this. Actually, it doesn't matter. I can be in construction. You can be in any mode you like now. And I want to move over. So we've got the church right here. Let's zoom in and see. Yes, you can actually see the piece of cheese there on the bench. So, as we can see the piece of cheese there, I'm wondering if we can see a piece of cheese on any of these balconies. And this is where I was kind of getting at, was have they gone and hidden a piece of cheese somewhere on one of these many hundreds of balconies that are dotted all around the city? Like, there's a fire escape there. Can you actually get up that fire escape? I think you can, which would suggest rather strongly that this would be a good place to put cheese. Right, you look around on the roof up here. This is really realistic, by the way. Can you note my attention to detail for the realism here when we're flying over the top of the city? We're not flying. We're using our drone. This is what we're doing. We're using the drone. I mean, yes, we're using a drone to look in people's windows, which I believe is frowned upon in certain places, and in other places is highly illegal. So we don't really want to get caught doing that. The other thing that I was wondering about was whether it was on, say, one of these balconies here. Again, doesn't appear to be on balconies. I can't see any pieces of cheese. They are quite small. How easy it would be to spot. I'd be surprised if there's one here, because I've already found a piece of cheese at this resort. So I would be surprised if there's another one here. And I'm not entirely sure they would go and put them all on the roofs. Who knows? Right, anyway, we don't need to worry about that. What I do want to do is I want to have a path that comes up here. We need a road that gets us up the mountain. So I would say probably our best bet is alongside the fence here, because it's not actually all that steep on this bit. And we follow our fence up this way here. And we need to go right up to the stones over here near this tree, and then we can turn and go up this bit on a little bit further, and then turn round and we come in across here. That's kind of the route I think we'll end up having for the path that makes its way all the way up here. We're not going to do that yet. I'm hoping that by next week we'll have this extended placeables and it will have some more options for doing the landscaping stuff as well. We'll wait and see on that one. I will just bale this up a minute, and then we've got to pick up the bales. Let's get started in here. I am so pleased that we do actually have a small baler in this game now. Like in the base game, it's not just as a mod. I mean, I know that every version we've had people adding in balers. In FS17, they did add a small baler in the Classics pack that they added. But they didn't have, like, Giants didn't release small bales in FS19. The fact that they have now added them in again suggests to me that they had a lot of people asking for this. A lot of people asking for this. So we'll take this one around here. Not very much. There isn't going to be very much hay in this little patch, but we knew that from the start. We weren't expecting large quantities. We've only had small machinery in here anyway. It's quite rough here in places, but we are getting round it. Come on down here. A slightly smaller tractor would probably be a better option, but right now a second tractor would actually be a bit of a waste of money for us. Like, we've got a tractor here, and we can do the jobs that we need to do with this tractor. We've got a big tractor purely as a way to future-proof. I didn't want something... Like, last time I spent a lot of money on the electric tractor, and it took us a long time to build up to that. That's also why I didn't want this hardcore series to start all over again. I had a couple of people asking me why I started with the money and why I carried it on from the last one, rather than starting fresh from the bottom. Purely because I don't want to start from scratch on this series. I wanted to carry on where we'd left off on the map, so that we get to see a bit more. Otherwise, it's just going to be the first 2 months of me doing various contract work in order to be able to make enough money to buy the first piece of land. And we've already... I literally just finished doing that, so I did not see any point in doing that again. There's a little tiny bit of hay right there on that corner. There we go. Right. That's all of it. That's everything. So now if we bring that one back and... we'll just unload the last 2 bales in there. It goes out like that. We'll fold that one up, and then we'll go and park the baler up. Drive off down here. I think we should be seriously considering selling that small mower, because any future grass that we want to be working on. Possibly we would also want to sell the hay turner and get a slightly bigger one, but I'm not going to commit to doing that at the moment. Now, the next task is we need to pick up these bales. So we'll get this trailer on, and we will stack the bales on this trailer. We can also, if we go in here and we quickly scroll down to that one, 20 bales produced. Not very many. 20 bales produced. We will hook those onto this trailer in no time at all, and then we can find somewhere to stash them. We might just leave them loaded on the trailer for now. So I'm back with new recording. We're just about to go and pick up those bales. Before I do, though, I have got... I already showed you the sleep anywhere. We got left shift plus Z, and you can sleep, which means that we can sleep up here. We don't have to go... Well, we don't have to buy a 350,000 euro house, and that should be euros, not dollars. We've also got a new... Let me just change that one over there. Fantastic. Yeah. Right. There's also, so we've got that one. There's also a mod now where a open vehicle options Valtra. It's the portable workshop mod, which basically means that I can go and repair my machinery out in the field. Now, I quite like this one because the idea that you've got to have a workshop in order to be able to repair your machinery is not one that I hold to, considering that I have spent quite a lot of time helping others repair. I'm not all that mechanically minded myself, but I have spent quite a lot of time helping other people repair machinery out in the field. And you don't need to have a van load of tools in order to be able to do that either. You can do that job with a toolbox that you just carry around. I've seen people doing that with a toolbox that they just carry around in their tractor. So you don't have this whole idea that you have to have a big kitted out workshop in order to be able to repair your machinery. No, I don't hold to that at all. So I really, really like this idea of the mod where we can just go and repair our machinery in the field. Now, admittedly, if your machinery is fairly worn down and it's telling you that you got 15,000 euros worth of repairs that you need to do to a really expensive machine, because that's one thing with this version of the game, the machinery costs have gone way through the roof. Repair costs have gone way up. They're much, much higher than they used to be. I actually quite like this. It does introduce a lot more challenge, although I think possibly the stone aspect in the field is slightly unbalanced. You do seem to get a very high amount of damage being done by the stones in the fields, and it seems to be a little bit too excessive, so you end up paying a lot of money for stones in the fields. I mean, yes, I know you're trying to balance a whole year's worth of crops for, like, a few days' worth of gameplay, and so you've got to sort of take that into account as well. We'll see how it goes on. Possibly, I think that the stones are doing a little bit too much damage at the moment, but it is an incentive to get rid of the stones out of the field, which I think is quite good. I like that idea. It's incentivizing you to do something to take care of stones that you might have kicking around in your field. And then once you have got rid of those, your repair costs are going to be a lot less because your stony ground is going to be a lot less. And I actually quite like that. I think that's quite good. So yeah, there's a bit of balance, I think, possibly needed with maybe the amount of damage being done by the stones in the fields. Beyond that, though, we do have significant repair. Repair costs used to be nothing. Like, it didn't matter what the repair costs were. They were not going to be an issue for you in any way, shape, or form. You were not going to have any problems with it. Like, you could have a a €500,000 machine that you were trying to do some work with, and it could be needing complete repair, and it's still only going to cost you about $5,000. Now it costs you a fortune to repair. If you've got a €500,000 machine and the repair bar has gone all the way down to 0, meaning that it's got a lot of stuff wrong with it, you're going to have to spend some money on that bad boy. So, yeah, doing that, doing 30,000 euros worth of repairs in a field, probably not. But doing the small repairs in the field, yes, that fits. So, I mean, I know that you can't sort of have both. You can't sort of put a limit on it, but I mean, maybe we could just sort of put an artificial limit on it for the purpose of this series. If the repair cost is less than $2,000, then we can do it in the field. Otherwise, we've got to take it to the dealership, and we've got to do it that way. That could actually work. We could say that anything more than 2,000, we have to take it to the dealership, or we have to get our own workshop. It's a more serious repair. You're going to have to put a lot more work into it in order to actually carry out those repairs. Now, I'm not going to be too fussy about getting these bales on here. I just kind of want to chuck them on here as quick as we can so that we can move on with some other stuff. By the time you watch these, for those of you who are new to the channel and don't watch the other series, the reason that my recordings are always done the way they are, don't sort of have an official beginning end, I just kind of like chop the video, is because my wife's health is not very good, and so I always try to get a week of recordings in advance, which means that I've then got time to be looking after my wife should she need it if anything comes up, and things frequently do. So if she's got a hospital appointment or something like that, then we can deal with a hospital appointment and I don't have to worry about not getting videos out, so I get a whole load of them done in advance. And I also do it the way that I do it because it basically is the most efficient way of doing it. I record a whole load all at once, then I can do all the editing all at once and get everything then set up after that. And yes, it is a little bit disjointed, and I apologise for that, but it gives me more time for helping my wife and doing the stuff that we need to do at home, and also allows me to keep producing content. So it's kind of like a happy medium, a happy balance between the two. So anyway, we just pop that one up there, and then we get a few more. So by the time you're watching this, there might be some new mods out for some additional sheds or something like that, because at the moment we don't have very much. We've already looked at this. There isn't really a lot of choice when it comes to sheds. Not at the moment. I have got that one there, which is 10,000. I like that one, but I don't really want that as a shed for storing our hay in. That is like a cheap, quick, easy machinery one. This one is more suitable for, I think, for putting the hay in, but it's quite expensive. It's 44,000 euros. And I'll be honest, if I was going to be building a shed like that, I would be getting the timber and so on. I would get all of the stuff that I could for the timber, and I wouldn't be doing it like that. I wouldn't be spending that kind of money on it. I would be getting cheaper timber. The uprights for it would be old telegraph and electric poles. They are a lot cheaper. And so that would be the uprights and the main timbers all the way across. And then I would also be using whatever cheap wood I could get. I've built garden sheds out of pallets before now, and you can do the same with a shed for storing the hay in. There's all kinds of possibilities, and I would definitely be building something a whole lot cheaper than 44 grand for a little wooden shed to store the hay in. And I mean, I'm not saying that it wouldn't happen. I'm just saying that for me personally, if I was in this situation right here that we're trying to simulate here, where we are struggling a bit for money, we don't have a lot of it available. I mean, we've got some available, we've got our machinery, and we've got a piece of land, but we don't have so much money that we can just chuck it away willy-nilly on whatever we want. So for that reason, that's why I'm thinking I'm just going to leave the bales on the trailer for a minute, because I'm hoping that we will get some shed mods come out soon-ish, and I'll be able to use one of those instead. A wooden shed that's a bit cheaper than what we've got right now. That's what I'd really like to find. That's what I'd like to be able to use. And right now we don't have any, and that's fine if we haven't got any right now, but I'm kind of hoping that by the time I get to recording again next week, there will be a mod or two released. Now, at the moment, I'm not using mods from anywhere other than ModHub. That's probably going to change fairly soon. No, I know, well, other than Stevie mods, there are a few Stevie mods that are coming out already. And if you want to get links to any mods that I use that aren't on ModHub, then go to our Discord and you will find them on there. And I will include links. So there is always a link to Stevie's Facebook page on the Discord, and if you can't find it, just ask in the chat. There's plenty of people that know where that one is. Although I'm not using Stevie mods in this series, so that doesn't really matter. But when I do start using other mods, they will be linked in the Discord. It's a lot easier to keep the links updated and so on there than it is on lots of different videos. So for simplicity's sake, that's where they will be. Let's put those up on there, and then bring this one round this side. If you want to move a bale, by the way, do get asked this occasionally. If you want to rotate it like that, you need to use you press and hold the middle mouse button. It's not perfect with the way that you can do it. Like, I can't rotate it sideways. I don't know if there's any other way of doing it. But you can rotate them some. You do have some options for rotating them if you want to. And I quite like that there are at least some rotation options on the bales. It does allow you to move them around a little bit. Well, with any placeable, really. I don't really want to do that. It just makes it a little bit easier to maneuver stuff around. Now, if I could stop chucking these bales off of the trailer, I thought that one was going to roll off as well. Apparently it's not. That one is actually going to be a good little boy and stay right where it was put. So let's go up on here. Catch that one and drop it down there. Is that going to yep, I can strap that one down. So we put that one in place, and those in place. There we go. So we've now got a load of hay all loaded up and ready. Now take this load of hay and we're just going to move it out the way. So hopefully, by the time I come back to recording next week, I will have found a small shed that we can put our hay into. As for progressing with this series, as far as like the hay and things like that are concerned, I'm not really sure what my plan is, because I don't want to be picking up bales by hand all the time, and when we start doing larger areas, I don't want to be picking up bales by hand on that. Now, we've got two options. We can go with a round baler, but as I pointed out, and I've had discussions with people about this now, round bales on land like we've got, yeah, that's not going to work out very well. Those bales, if we start trying to do round baling on the hills, those bales are going to be down there in the town, and nobody's going to thank us for that. It was suggested that maybe we could build a rather robust wall along the bottom there. Now, that is actually a possibility. I have done round baling before. Well, didn't actually operate the baler, but I've been involved with round baling that was done in steep land, and the bales were allowed to roll down to the bottom of the hill, and then we gathered them all up at the bottom. But you need something strong for that. Now, like, we've got fence here, this kind of fence here. That's not strong enough. The bale will go right through it. If you have a bale that has gained a bit of momentum from up here and gone bounding all the way down the hill, yeah, there's trouble there. You can do the round baling, and then you can back round the corner when the bale is ready, and you can tip it out in such a way that it's not going to go bouncing off down the hill. This iron bars, it would end up denting them. It would still end up causing problems. We don't really have anything here that I think represents a sturdy enough wall or barrier for round bales. I like that we've got the decoration. I like that we've got these fencing options. What I don't like is they haven't actually given us any stone wall options. Beside a red brick wall here, which does look rather nice, with the bushes in between, we don't have any stone walling options, and that is, to me, a little bit of a disappointment. So round bales are an option, but we'd have to be really careful doing round bales. Right, we would have to be really, really careful doing round bales. Now, other options, big square baler. That's 150,000 euros. That's a ridiculous amount of money, and I'm not sure that we could afford it. The final option, now, right here, see, this really does bug me, and we've got to get water. If we have the small sheep pasture, we've got to get water to them as well, so we've got to have a water tank somewhere, and then we're going to have to start supplying them with water. The other ones, they now assume that you are able to afford a water pipe and put those in, which is absolutely great. I like that, but yeah. The bit that bugs me is the numbers for the sheep. The numbers are all wrong. So what we'll do is we're just going to make the assumption that in-game, one sheep actually represents 10 sheep, because that's about the closest I can get to being accurate with this, because otherwise it's just going to really bug me the whole time. So where are we going to put this? We got the pallets that accumulate over in the corner. kind of need to... This is 27,000 up there. Now, really, I want to bring it up somewhere like that, and then we might have room to put a second one in. We would probably have room then to go and put another one in down the hill like this. We could put that one down there, and then we've got 2 sheep pens with a road in between. So we want to put this top one in first. This one's got to go up here, but then we've got to actually have a road that is able to go across it. And I think we're going to want to put that road in first. To be honest, it's going to be better like that. There's a lot less money being spent immediately on that. There's 26,700. I've got the corner of the sheep pen going up under the trees a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't line up quite with what we've done, but it's lining up a lot more along the side of the hill, which I think is a bit more important for us right now. Let's put that in there. That's saving us more than €1,000 doing it there than if we do it along there, because that's got so much... No, it's €500, but still. Let's try here. 26,700. So, we have leveled a piece of land around it. So now what we want to do is we want to go to the landscaping, and we are going to have to do some leveling. Quite a significant amount of movement on the land here. So I'm going to have to spend a bit of money leveling some of this out. We are simply not going to be able to do this properly unless I can do some leveling here. And this is something that does annoy me with the landscaping. The landscaping is good. We've got some nice options with it now, especially this slope option that they've now built into it. That I like. I think that's really good. But the problem that I've got with the landscaping at the moment is that it won't allow you to touch anything that is close to a placeable. And you can see right there we're already getting some problems with it. It's decided that that area right in there is a placeable zone, and so it's not letting me go and put anything in there. I can't go and level the land inside that little bit right in there. Won't let me do it. So I've got a massive great big dip in there, and there's nothing whatsoever that I can do about that because the placeable has decided that that is where it is. There is one thing that I might be able to do with it, and that is sell the pen and then rebuild it again. But that's going to end up costing us even more money. So we might just have to accept that we've got a massive, great big pit there. Now, there was a mod in testing, which was an extended placeables mod. I know I'm spending a few thousand doing this, but this is going to be worth it. And the extended placeables mod, I'm hoping, would also allow us to manipulate terrain a little bit closer to the placeables as well. And that's something that I really want. I want that option. Right. We're going to bring this out over here. Like that. Right. So I've now got a larger area here. Just can't do anything about that bit in there. It's not going to allow me to touch that, which is really irritating to me, but we might be able to still do something about it. So now we're going to go with the soften and softly approach. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.